Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the third part of What If Deku had the Quirk efficient. You guys have shown love on this What If. In my last part of this What If, it got 100 likes and 600 views, clearly showing how much you guys love this What If. Because of that, that's going to give me more motivation to finish off this What If, and I'm definitely going to carry on making What If parts for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Bakugou, in the time gap for the UA Sports Festival, trains restlessly. He continuously trains his body and even tries to make his eyes see blurs better, but that obviously doesn't work. He now uses his explosions for different things like clearing someone's vision, increasing speed and other versatile things, but he mainly uses defense. This is because of Deku. He isn't fast enough to go on the offense against Deku, but he can use defensive and countering techniques. Deku can't use the second physical enhancement yet and really doesn't need to. He just uses the first physical enhancement and one for all in some parts of the body from time to time if he feels like it. When Todoroki confronts Deku in the waiting room to say who will beat him, Deku scoffs and says, no. He zooms behind him and Todoroki thinks, how? Deku says, you still think you can win. I could have just punched you in the back and knocked you out. Todoroki clenches his fist and says, no matter how fast or strong you are, you will not beat me. Deku says, yeah, okay. Then he just walks out of the changing room. The crowd is already fond of Deku because the word of his superhuman ability has spread all across Japan. He is called Limelight by the fans because of his glowing green eyes when he uses the first physical enhancement. Let's begin with the first event, the obstacle race. As the race starts, Todoroki tries to use his ice, but as soon as Deku starts running with his first physical enhancement, the ice below his feet just cracks and melts from the force, speed and air. Deku zooms in front of everybody completely and even the cameras can barely keep up with him. Deku leaps up to a 0-point robot and zooms right through it, causing an explosion, and he just continues running. Everyone else has to deal with the robots though, except Bakugou and Todoroki mainly. Because of Bakugou's newfound overall skill with his quirk, he is further ahead than Todoroki. Deku sees the fall and jumps from rock to rock, without using the ropes really. Everyone in the crowd is astounded by Deku's speed. Deku flips high up into the air and lands across the fall, then zooms away. The final obstacle is the minefield. Deku just walks into the field because he doesn't know what's going on, but he goes flying into the air, then when he lands again, he just goes flying back up. He basically ends up doing this until he gets out of the zone. He stands on his feet after a long time of just tumbling and runs to the finish line. He finishes way before anyone and the crowd is roaring. Everyone is cheering and clapping for him while chanting Limelight, his nickname. Bakugou is able to just about steal second place from Todoroki and Todoroki gets a solid third place. For the Cavalry Battle, people also want the million but know that they most likely won't get it from him, but the team stay the same in the process of people just thinking about this. As the cavalry begins, a lot of teams come rushing at him. He uses the first physical enhancement in just his finger and also uses one for all. He ends up launching a huge gush of air that ends up completely dismembering Team Tetsu Tetsu and Team Hagakure. Everyone is so scared of going to Deku and they are also really regretting not going on a team with him. When Team Mineta come and try to attack, Deku is able to use a simple one-for-all finger flick, again dismantling the team. Team Katsuki soon comes zooming at them. Deku gets up on his feet and says, let me fight him, I'll take him down. Finmikaka says, do whatever. Deku says, you will have to launch me up to handle the pushing force. Finmikaka says, fine, I know you'll take them down anyway. The whole team launches into the air with their Tekkenol and Deku slides down a little. He puts one foot on Finmikaka and one on Meihatsume. He launches off and Bakugou tries to use an explosion, but Deku kicks him in the abdomen and grabs a headband from them. He grabs onto Finmikaka and they make a quick escape. He is basically just holding a human flag right now with ease, showing how strong he is. They keep the headband and finish the test at first place. In the noon break, Todoroki still takes Deku aside. Todoroki says, I've been having a new power I will use to win against you. Deku says, is that right? Todoroki says, yes. Deku says, I'm guessing you're talking about the other side of your strength. It's fire, isn't it? Todoroki thinks, how did he figure that out? Deku says, if it is, it's useless. No fire of yours will hurt me. Maybe your father endeavours, but not yours. Todoroki clenches his fist and says, "I don't care what you say, I'll show you." Deku says, "Do your best, I will too." Deku then zooms away. Bakugou is still in the back hearing the conversation. He thinks, he's got an attack for him too? No, I'll be the one to take him down first. I've put in too much work for this. Let's get into the fight between Deku and Shinso. Deku still gets info of his quirk and just doesn't even listen to what the guy says. He uses the first physical enhancement and zooms across the stage and grabs the neck of his shirt. Once Shinso realizes what's going on, he's being held over the edge of the ring. Shinso tries to budge him and nothing works. Deku throws him off and wins the match with ease. The next match that has changes to it is Bakugou vs Uwaraka. Bakugou isn't willing to hold anything back. His explosions, power, speed and more is superior in this series to his cannon, and in this fight it shows. Bakugou launches an explosion with one hand and Uwaraka gets blown off of her feet. Bakugou instantly notices the material in the air as it starts flying up and Bakugou just blows everything up. This is something he also trained to catch on to minor things that he sees in the corner of his eye because Deku is just that fast. As you can see, Bakugou has literally manifested a fighting style just to combat how Deku fights. Bakugou says, "I think it's time to end this." Uwaraka throws a huge chunk of rock with zero gravity so it just zooms at Bakugou at high speed. Bakugou punches it and it breaks. Bakugou thinks, "Wow, I have gotten stronger, I barely got a bruise." He launches a powerful one-hand explosion and knocks her out of the ring. The next match being covered is Deku vs Todoroki. Todoroki starts the match off by launching a large wave of ice. Deku uses his one for all and base strength to break the ice with one punch. Deku zooms at Todoroki and he just completely blazes out fire and ice. He uses this to block himself from being seen. Deku thinks he's smart. "I think I can take this smoke screen out though." He spins with the first physical enhancement across his body and manages to blow the smoke away from him. He stops spinning and zooms at Todoroki. Todoroki gets slammed into and gains serious injury. He has to use his eyes to stop himself from getting out of the ring because he was just going so fast that he couldn't even stop himself. Todoroki launches a massive amount of fire and ice, creating another humid smoke screen. He then creates a large spear made of ice, then he zooms at Deku with fire behind him. Deku hears him and puts his block up, thinking he will try and use a close-up attack, but Todoroki throws a spear-like object and it stabs right into Deku. Todoroki then launches a full power fire blast into Deku. Deku is left with a stab hole in his chest and he has burn marks all over him. Deku says, "Now it's over." He uses the first physical enhancement and dashes at Todoroki. He is a complete blur to Todoroki and he can't react in time to do anything anyway. Todoroki goes flying back and uses ice to stop him from going out of bounds, but Deku uses one for all and controls his first physical enhancement into just his arm. This triples the physical attributes in that arm, not just doubling it, and he completely demolishes Todoroki's eyes as well as breaking some ribs. Todoroki slams into the wall and passes out. Deku wins the match and progresses on. The next match we'll cover is Bakugou vs Kirishima. Bakugou gives a glimpse of his new attack made through vigorous training, his AP shot. Yes, he creates the attack earlier. He just believes that he needs to make the most powerful attack possible just to go on par with Deku's overwhelming strength. This attack completely destroys Kirishima's hardening and this gives him an easy option to just blast him out of bounds. Deku starts getting concerned. "I need to step my game up. Everyone is making attacks perfect against me. I need to get the second physical enhancement in check as quickly as possible or I will be surpassed." The next match for Deku is Deku vs Finmikaka. Deku knows of the Dark Shadow but doesn't think too much of it since it is weak in the day. Deku uses a finger flick and Finmikaka gets confused. He just blows tons of wind at him, but Deku used this as a decoy to launch himself with one for all and one-shot him off the ring. Finmikaka goes flying into the wall and gets knocked out. Now it is the finals between Deku and Bakugou. Bakugou has waited so long for this, to finally show what he can do. Bakugou steps forward and pours all of his anger into this one match. Deku zooms at Bakugou, but Bakugou uses an attack he calls the Ultimate Sweeper. He was planning to use this attack in Uwaraka's fight, but he knew that Deku would see it and he hesitated to use it. He uses one hand and launches a huge sweep of explosions at great speed. Deku leaps back to not get hit by the attack and Bakugou zooms at him. Deku says, "You are not fast, Bakugou, I am faster." Deku zooms at Bakugou and falls right into his trap. Bakugou makes a tube in his hands basically and makes an even more concentrated version of the AP shot that he calls the AP bullet. This sends a large beam of explosion to Deku extremely fast and actually injures him as well as causing him to cough blood. Deku punches Bakugou away and zooms at him blindly and gets hit by the AP bullet again, then Bakugou uses the ultimate sweep to gain some distance. Deku goes tumbling away. Bakugou thinks, "This is it, I've won." Bakugou launches his final AP bullet, but Deku stands and catches the beam alone. It does leave a lot of blood down and up his arm, but it starts to heal quickly. Steam emits off of him and then gusts of wind blast from his body. Bakugou thinks, "What is this?" Deku zooms at Bakugou with his second physical enhancement and Bakugou can't even react. He gets punched in the face and the impact of the punch causes him to actually break through the wall and fall unconscious. Deku then passes out and reverts to his base form. Deku wins the tournament. So that will conclude the third part of What If Deku Had the Quirk Efficient. I am so happy right now because yesterday my mic wasn't working to record this, but now it just magically is and I decided to record for you guys, obviously. Thanks for all the support again on this What If. I'll continue to be making What If parts for you guys. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.